Ever get that, like, I totally deserve a treat feeling after conquering a crazy to-do list?
Got it.
That right there, that's your brain on positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's the engine driving today's deep dive, contingency management.
CM.
CM for short. We're talking about taking that same reward system and using it to help people overcome some really tough challenges, specifically addiction.
What's really interesting is how CM takes this basic human response that we were just talking about to rewards and then uses it strategically within therapy.
Okay.
So it's all about understanding how to leverage that positive reinforcement to kind of nudge us towards the behaviors that we want to see, especially when we're talking about something like addiction.
So instead of just toughing it out, white-knuckling through cravings, CM gives people a little something extra, a little boost towards those healthier choices.
Absolutely. Imagine like someone battling heroin addiction. CM steps in, and it makes staying clean the more appealing option, literally.
Wow.
Or think about someone who's managing schizophrenia, but they're also struggling with substance abuse.
Yeah.
CM can be so effective in helping them stay on their medication, which is, as we know, key to having a healthier, more stable life.
So we're talking about real, tangible changes here, not just like feel-good stuff, but actual changes in behavior.
Exactly. And the best part is, this isn't some new age theory. There's a ton of research that shows just how effective CM can be.
Really?
Yeah, like for example, there are studies that show that people using CM stayed away from substances for almost twice as long as those who didn't. That's huge.
That is huge. Think about what you could do at that time, like rebuilding those relationships, getting back on track with work or school.
Yeah, getting your life back. Really?
Yeah, reclaiming your life.
Yeah.
That's a powerful statistic. It really highlights how CM has the potential to create lasting change. And it got me thinking about how all of this applies to alcohol addiction.
You know, it's funny you should mention alcohol because CM was actually initially developed to treat alcohol dependence.
Really? I had no idea. I bet there's a story there.
Oh, there totally is. Early research actually found that there was a massive 82% decrease in public drunkenness arrests.
What?
82%.
Because of CM.
Because of CM.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's not just about an individual. It's a ripple effect impacting the community.
Talk about a win-win. But CM's impact, it goes beyond addressing just one addiction, right? Like, what about those individuals who are facing multiple challenges at the same time, like co-occurring disorders?
You're hitting on a really important point. It's incredibly common for someone to be dealing with both an addiction and a mental health disorder.
At the same time.
At the same time. And that, unfortunately, adds another layer of difficulty to the whole recovery process.
So how does CM actually help in those really complex situations? You know, when it's not just addiction, but there are all these other things going on at the same time.
That's where CM's adaptability really shines.
Okay.
Like, take this 2017 study from the University of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
What they found was that patients who were using CM, they went to almost double the amount of therapy sessions.
Wow.
Compared to the group that wasn't. That's a big deal.
That's huge.
Yeah, because staying committed to therapy, that can be a big hurdle
Oh, totally.
in the whole recovery process, you know?
So it's like CM kind of provides this extra, I don't know, like a motivation to keep going even when it's hard.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, you see the benefits.
Yeah.
More treatment retention, that means more chances to work on those coping mechanisms, addressing the root issues, and then ultimately just having more days where you're drug-free.
Right.
It's like this domino effect.
It's amazing, all of this. But I'm so curious, like, what are the actual rewards we're talking about? Is it like you get a prize basket for, like, good behavior?
You know, that's the question everybody asks. And to be honest, it's a lot more complex than just, you know, giving out prizes. A lot of what makes CM work is making sure that the reward actually means something to the person.
Right.
So it's really about figuring out what drives each person and helps them stay on that path.
So it's not like one size fits all. It's about finding the incentive that speaks to that person specifically.
Yeah.
I love that. So, like, what are some examples of rewards that seem to work really well?
It really varies.
Okay.
For some people, maybe it's vouchers that they can use for essential things like groceries or clothes.
Okay.
Others, it might be gift certificates to do something fun or that they enjoy.
Right.
It could even be the chance to earn back privileges they lost because of the addiction.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
So it's like you're earning these rewards by making healthy choices.
Exactly.
Win-win, right?
Yeah. But there's got to be a system, right? You can't just like throw random rewards at people and expect it to work.
Oh, for sure. There's a method to the madness. CM isn't about random rewards. It's about being really intentional and using them strategically. And there are specific principles that guide everything.
Okay, yeah, break those down for me. What are these guiding principles that make CM tick?
So there are 7 core principles that underpin CM.
7.
7. Okay, so first we have what we call the target behavior.
Okay.
This is about clearly pinpointing those negative things that we're trying to dial back or get rid
It's
of.
like using. Right.
Exactly, like substance use.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, it's also about zeroing in on those positive things we want to see more of, like going to therapy, maybe focusing on a job hunt, things like that. So basically getting super specific about what you want to see change.
Exactly. It's about setting clear goals and having the system in place to, like, back those goals up.
Love it. What's next?
Okay, so the next one is the selection of the target population.
Okay.
This is where things get strategic.
How so?
Well, resources are unfortunately always something we have to think about.
Right.
So CM programs, they often have to focus on who's going to benefit the absolute most from this type of intervention.
Right. So you're making sure those resources are used where they'll have the biggest impact.
Exactly. Now, remember how we talked about choosing rewards that actually mean something to someone?
Yeah.
That's actually another core principle, choice of reward. It just goes to show how important it is that the rewards are actually motivating.
Because let's be real, a reward you're excited about is going to be way more motivating.
100%. And it's not just what it is, it's the when and how often, too.
Oh, tell me more about that, because I can see how that would totally play a role.
Think about it this way. Whenever we're learning something new, immediate feedback is super important, right?
Yeah.
Same with CM. Giving someone that reward right after they've done the positive behavior helps to create this strong link in their brain.
Oh, I see.
It solidifies that connection, that, like, action reward.
It's like that little rush you get when your phone buzzes with a notification.
Yes.
That's the power of immediacy.
And CM uses that for positive change.
I love that. Okay, so we've got timing. What about frequency?
Frequency is key, too. So especially in early recovery, rewarding every single instance of positive behavior, that's ideal.
Makes sense.
It establishes a strong base.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as time goes on, you can start spacing out the rewards.
So you're not creating a dependence on that constant reward. You're trying to make it more intrinsic.
Exactly. And that actually takes us to another principle, magnitude of reward.
Okay.
We got to make sure the reward is, good enough to actually make a difference.
Like a $5 gift card versus a $50 gift card.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a big difference.
Big difference. And finally, we've got the duration of the intervention. The end goal is always to support long-term recovery.
Of course.
But how long that takes is going to look different for everyone. Some people might see a change fairly quickly. Others might need a little extra time to really feel solid.
So flexibility is key.
Absolutely. Meeting people where they are in their recovery journey is essential.
So we've covered so much ground here today, from the science behind how CM works to the actual ways we can use it. What really sticks out to you about CM? What's the one thing that you really hope listeners take away from this deep dive?
For me, it's how elegantly simple it is.
Yeah.
CM takes this really basic learning principle, positive reinforcement, and uses it for something as complex as addiction.
Right.
It's no judgment, no blame, just a focus on empowering people to make those healthier choices one step at a time.
I love that. It's like shifting the whole conversation from you should be doing this to how can we support you in getting there.
Yes.
It just feels so much more helpful.
Absolutely. And the great thing is CM isn't meant to be a standalone thing. It can be used alongside other therapies.
Oh, okay.
It becomes this really well-rounded approach to treatment.
So it's about finding the right tools and strategies for each person, not like a one-size-fits-all.
Exactly. But it does make you wonder, why isn't CM used more if it's so effective?
That is a great question. What do you think is causing that gap between, the research and people actually using it?
Well, I think there are still some misconceptions floating around. Like some people, they hear rewards and think it's too simple.
Right.
But we're just giving handouts.
Yeah.
But they don't always get the science behind it and how carefully it's all designed.
It's like assuming if you know how to use a hammer, you can just, build a house, right?
Exactly. Perfect analogy.
There's so much more to it.
So much more to it. And then there's the money issue. Even though CM's benefits probably outweigh the costs in the long run, getting the money in the first place, especially in communities that don't have a lot of resources, can be really, really hard.
That's tough, especially when you think about how much CM could help.
Right. And we can't forget about training.
Oh, right.
We need more people who know how to implement CM well.
So it sounds like getting the word out is a really important first step.
Yeah.
The more we talk about these kinds of evidence-based things like CM, the better chance they have of actually reaching people.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about having these conversations.
All right.
We're playing a part in making things better.
Totally. Knowledge is power. The more we understand these things, the more we can advocate for ourselves and our families.
Well said. And as we wrap up our deep dive into CM, if this has really resonated with you, keep digging.
Yeah.
Do your research,
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yes.
Advocate for its use. Your voice really matters.
So well said. And that's what the deep dive is all about. It's about giving you the knowledge to create real change. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.